I'm Sam Heifel from Entertainment Weekly. I'm here at Comic-Con with the minds behind the newest Jack Ryan we have. I want to start, actually, how did you guys meet?
We met, I hired Graham to be a writer on the 6th season of Lost.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, what was about 9 years ago. And I used to be terrified of him. And now he's just like some other guy, just some guy.
I try to keep him terrified of me, and it's absolutely not working.
So how did it roll around now 6 years later that it's like, hey, here's Jack Ryan, let's do this?
It was kind of a weird thing. Like Paramount, I think had abandoned the idea that they were going to make any more Jack Ryan movies, and they gave it to their television division, and they were talking to a number of writers and had some preliminary conversations with both of us. And Graham and I had not only worked on Lost, but we worked on another show together, and it felt like the perfect team up. I mean, I loved Graham as a writer. Graham was also in the Marines,
Sure.
So he was very well versed in this world. And so we said, let's work on this together, and that was how it happened.
Yeah, we're both big Clancy fans, not only of the 5 films, but of the books. And it, yeah, wouldn't do it with anybody else.
Yeah. I want to talk about the decision because in this series we meet Jack very early on. We meet Jack as an analyst. Why that versus full-blown action hero? Like, why did you want to start toward the beginning of his journey?
I think it was important for us to, one of the things that makes Jack Ryan distinct from, let's say, Jason Bourne or James Bond, I think is this feeling that here's a guy that his superpower is his brain. He's not, well equipped and to enter every single situation. He's not an awesome fighter, that he sort of rises to the occasion. And so that's kind of one of the defining characteristics of Jack Ryan, and we definitely wanted to bring that to our show, that this is a guy who everybody can kind of relate to a little bit, mm-hmm. and gets in over his head, and will he or will he not, rise to the occasion.
Right. Will he become that action hero?
Exactly.
So in writing it, you guys thought of John Krasinski for the role pretty early on as you were still writing it, right?
We were kind of like talking about people. I mean, when you do something like this, and it was a very narrow target, I realized that as good as we wrote the show, if we didn't get the right guy, the show wasn't going to work. And you need to find a guy who's a leading man, who is vulnerable, who has got a big brain, because
Sure.
that's Jack Ryan's superpower, is his brain. Plus, he's got to be a believable action guy. We wrote the character with charm. I mean,
yeah.
The more characteristics you add, the shorter the list gets of guys that can do it. And John was a guy who we felt would, embodied everything we wanted in the character.
Yeah. I also want to talk about the scale of this show, because you guys filmed season 1 in 5 countries? 5 different locations? Is it 5?
3 continents, 4 countries.
Good Lord. But it very much so, you can tell when you see it, it looks like a very high production movie. Had you not, going into a Jack Ryan world, how important was having kind of that scale to it? Like, would you have wanted to do a Jack Ryan on, a much smaller, scale of things?
Well, when we went out with it, we definitely had offers from other places,
Sure.
Broadcast places included. And there's only a couple of places where you could do this show,
yeah.
that are going to give you the resources to travel the world and do it right. And, because we were coming in the wake of 5 blockbuster movies, all of the video games, the books, and we felt like globetrotting, going to the places and seeing them and not cheating the audience was a must. And audiences are very sophisticated. The bar is very high with everything else that's on TV, and we felt like we're not going to be able to cheat Santa Clarita for the Middle East. We're going to have to go to Morocco. We're going to have to go to Paris. We're going to have to make this a big 8-hour movie.
Sure. Why is now a good time for Jack Ryan?
I mean, we started working on this thing 3.5 years ago, but the timing couldn't have been more perfect. The idea of a show that celebrates the competence and professionalism of members of our intelligence community and military feels like exactly the right show at this moment to be out there. Regardless of what your politics are, I think everybody can get behind that as an idea, and I think it's an important idea. I think that it's with denigration of the intelligence and military comes this idea that they're not important, when in fact they are really important in terms of keeping us safe and, protecting the values that we all, want to have as a people and as a country. And it's, we approach it from a very non-political standpoint, but we kind of leaned into this idea that Clancy had, that the people who do these jobs are really critical, and that there's this kind of wish fulfillment to this story, that like we all hope that there's a Jack Ryan out there who can save us and is protecting us from the chaos of the world.
Right. Well, now we have one, at least on the TV screen. Thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Yeah.